Butch and Bob Show.
World famous Butch and Bob Show right here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup, Big Dog Country Radio. Morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'll be doing better if the lightning didn't take out my TV last night, but other than that...
Lightning took out your TV? Is it a dead duck?
It's a dead duck.
Dead duck.
Calm.
I know what you were shaking.
It's not the TV,
morning.
It's the box.
It's the box.
That's to come replace the box.
So whoever you have a dish...
I have
Direct TV.
Yeah.
Direct TV's got to come and replace the box at your TV.
Yeah, that's going
to
do
Did they give you a month they're going to come?
No, they're supposed to be here Monday.
Monday?
Which won't be too bad because I'm going out of town this week to see family. So, but
that works out
last
good.
night I was going nuts. I told Matt a while ago. I don't.
Oh, you poor thing.
I'm addicted to TV. I got to have my TV.
I didn't watch a minute of it yesterday when I got home.
But
too much to do.
That was frustrating, but anyway.
You poor thing. All right,
hopefully
world famous Butch and Bob
Monday.
Show here on WIFO, here for this Friday morning, 26th day of July. And we have a very special guest in this morning. Who do we have, Bob?
We got County Commissioner Jamie Hickok. She wanted to come in again. We got a meeting Thursday with the County Commissioner. I just want to ask you about that. It's in reference to the bonds. Is that for the upcoming projects, like the community
SPLOST
center?
5 projects?
Right, okay.
Yes, sir. I sent out an email yesterday asking for some further information on it. What I got back was they're going to sell the bonds, and once the bonds are sold, we have 24 hours as a commission to approve them.
Okay.
So that's all the
information. So that's what the
information.
bonds. That's what I thought it was. But I just wanted to make sure. But that's a meeting set for Thursday at 6 p.m. The County Commission meeting. Then you get to host the meet and greet on Tuesday, August 2nd, from 9 to 11 for the new EMS director. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to meeting him.
Yep, me too. I've had no information no information, but I'm so looking forward to meeting him.
Right.
What do you mean, no information?
None. Zero. I'm no longer incorporated into that type of county business.
You've been voted out of the club, huh?
Exile.
Exile. There we go. There we go.
And that's why
I'm on the island of Patmos.
And that's why
You've been voted off the island, huh?
Yeah, and that's what she called last week, wanted to get some time. I said, sure, we'll be glad to get you. So, just got her in here. Like I said, I think people know the story. We were banned from an executive session. They state the reason it was because you gave out pertinent information that was in executive session. You had to deal with the headline that you got right there, the $270,000 that the Wayne County lost in the scam. Still haven't recovered that. I don't know if we'll ever recover that. So, but apparently they say you gave out pertinent information behind closed doors. So you want to come in and verify that, because they're also saying that went to you contacted the Attorney General.
Yes, sir.
You sent a letter to him.
Yes, sir.
He made a response.
Yes, sir.
They assumed that the Attorney General sided with them, but you dispute that. So let's start there.
Okay. All right, Bob, I did prepare just a little.
Right. Go ahead.
And I think that sums it up. But I brought 2 binders worth of information to ask every Bob Morgan question he could throw at me today.
We'll start with your opening statement.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure we understood what the Thursday meeting was about. I thought that was what it was about, so I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Why are we here? You have heard from the county, and you have heard from the newspaper, and I'm here to speak for myself. The whole issue they made about bringing information out of executive session boils down to this. Our Wayne County Board of Commissioners wants to conduct public business in the back room. They want to discuss contracts and funding and budgeting and fraud outside of the eye of the tax-paying public. Why? Because facing the public is hard. People ask hard questions. People have high standards. People are educated on subject matter. When you are elected and you are thrown into this arena, government language is a whole different language. And there are people in the general public who have been studying that language for a very long time. And you're all of a sudden thrown in this place expecting to be the subject matter expert, and you're not. Explaining your position takes time and effort. Breaking down complex problems is exhausting. It is so much easier to figure it out in the back and bring your decision to the front. Here is my position. Each commissioner gets paid $1,350 a month. Each one of us went to the probate office and asked for this job. Each one of us raised our hands and took an oath of office. It is my belief that each one of us has the responsibility to conduct public business publicly, even when it's hard. Did the Attorney General rule that I leaked information from executive session? No. Has the county commission determined a remedy for a leak? No. Because the two items I'm accused of leaking were not allowable subject matter for executive session. On May 29th, the AG's office sent me an email stating they believe the county understands its responsibility concerning open meetings. That translates to they understand now. What did they not understand in January, February, March, and April? The email went on to say, and I'm paraphrasing, our office spoke with the county attorney regarding limitations to discussions in executive session. I'll just ask you to marinate on that sentence for a minute. Multiple times I was told by the Attorney General's office that my remedy was to sue the county. I was voted out of executive session. I was not allowed to negotiate the administrator's contract. I was censored, and 20% of the population of Wayne County was disenfranchised. Why? Because they had 4 votes, not because it was Wayne County code. The same code they weaponized against me says, if any county commissioner attempts to discuss non-exempt topics during an executive session, the chair shall immediately rule him out of order. If they persist, the chair shall adjourn the meeting. Our county commission has a culture of conducting business outside of the public meeting room and creating a story to cover it up. We all remember in 2018 when we were supposedly in $8 million worth of debt, and if the commission didn't raise the taxes by 5 mills, the state would put us into receivership. We know now for 100% fact that was made up and not true. Remember when Kevin McCrary ran in as a write-in to give the government back to the people? When I ran for this office, I asked my friends and my neighbors and my family to vote for me. My platform is I'm going to be transparent. That commitment to honest transparency has come at a very high price. Bob, do you have any questions?
Just go right back.
Yeah. Let's start with, you said the Attorney General's office. Did you talk to the Attorney General in person? Did you talk to Chris Carr?
On the phone multiple times.
So what did Chris Carr tell
You got to be close to the mic.
Yeah.
I'll bring it to you.
Multiple times.
And what did Chris Carr say? Because I talked to Chris Carr. Like I said, we know Chris Carr well. I said I brag all the time. He was my color man one time during a ball game. So I said Joe Roddy knows him well. That's how I met him. But had been able to keep in touch with him. He's been on the show several times. I've talked to him. He basically told me the same thing, that they basically weren't going to get involved. That if you want to pursue it legally, you could do that. But you said you don't want to do that. You don't want to sue the county.
Okay, if I sue the county, I ran for office to serve.
Right.
If I sue the county, which I'm obviously wrong, it's very well documented. Bless Drew Davis's heart. He has documented every one of these misgivings in writing perpetually. Way to go, Drew. Who's going to pay for my attorney? The county. Who's going to pay for the county's attorney? The county. Who's going to pay for the settlement? The county. Who's going to pay the ultimate price? The taxpayer. I may at some point have no choice to, but I've always been committed to the next right thing, and the next right thing for me today is not to run down there and sue the county.
I'm kind of confused. are you admitting, or do you think you leaked?
I didn't leak a thing.
Okay, that's what I'm.
I never
you
leaked
don't-
a thing.
but
I gave public information.
That's what they claim. They claim that you leaked out.
Okay.
You know, and just to clarify,
Okay.
Butch and I have had this conversation many times about executive sessions. I've been on record saying I think they need to be done away with. It's public business. I don't care what it is. You know, Butch
Well, if it's personnel
I understand.
or
Like,
lawsuits, they has to be.
Hey, we've had this argument all the time, but like
Sure.
I said, I'd do away with executive sessions tomorrow if I could, but because I've been covering city, county, school board meetings for 41 years, I can promise you there's a bunch of information leaked from executive session.
What did you just say?
There's a bunch of information leaked from executive session. I mean, sometimes you have to have sources that you rely on to give you that information from executive session. I mean, that's just common practice for a journalist. I mean, you keep them private, but I mean, you got to have that relationship where you call a person and say, look, I need to know what's going on back there. So we find out. I mean, any good journalist is going to find out what goes on in executive session if they have proper sources. So, but they're claiming that you released this information about the money that was scammed. So you're disputing that. You're saying
I don't
that's
dispute.
not true.
This
But
was
you
not.
said in the meeting that you gave that but you said it was like 3 months or something. Didn't you
No.
say there was a time frame?
Yes, we got an email
Right.
from the county administrator on November the 15th of 2023. Emails are not consecutive executive session. We were never in executive session. At one executive session, the administrator gave an update. I didn't say anything about that. I said publicly in February that the county, Wayne County, lost $270,000 because we lacked policy and procedures. Is that a leak? It's not a leak. That email was written November the 15th. And this article from Drew, I have highlighted all the information. It came from the email. The email isn't a closed in-county email on a closed server. I have a Gmail account. There is nothing executive session about. You will not find in OCGA executive session email. That is a lie. Next question.
I just want to. Some people tune in during the show, so just in case you're joining us, County Commissioner Jamie Hickok's in the studio with us, our special guest on the Butch and Bob Show, talking about the story about the two. Are we ever going to get the $270,000 back? A lot of people ask that. Have you any idea how bad is this scam? Is it like they said that we weren't the only ones that got scammed? Is that correct?
I'm a realtor, and it's been almost 10 years ago that we started getting information that do not, under any circumstances, take any kind of account numbers from an email. Do not have your seller email an account number to a closing attorney to disperse funds. Why? Scams. That's been a common known scam for nearly a decade. That is what we're talking about here. When I ran for office, I said loudly that we have to have financial oversight. We either have to break out and get a chief financial officer, or that we have to engage and employ a accounting firm. On top of just watching numbers, they have best practices and they have policies. This one error, this is just human error. Would have
But
paid.
a lot of companies get hit by that.
Yes, they
Government businesses.
Not by this
everyone.
specific. They get hit by cyber attacks.
Cyber attacks of all types.
This
it's just
is a
amazing to me how
10-year-old
that happens.
attack. This one would have paid for 35 months of that accounting firm I've been asking for since the time I ran for office. This was just a flat mistake. I'm not saying throw somebody over the bus for it or under the bus or off the island. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be honest. Okay, general public, this is what happened. This event occurred. And since this event occurred, and I know it cost us $270,000, we have put things into place where we may get hit by something else. It won't be this again, but this is your money. This is your money. That's $250,000. This is your money. That is my big problem with this. You cannot withhold that information from the public. I didn't give the details. Our county administrator gave the details to Drew Davis, who posted it in the newspaper. That's where the details came from.
Let me ask you a question. I don't want to know who it is, but do we know who made the mistake?
Yes. That's redacted on that email.
Okay. Is there any repercussion, any reprimand, any?
It was just an honest mistake.
Is
that what it was?
That is the only employees that the county commission have is the county administrator and the county attorney. So if there was something interdepartmental, that information has not come back to my ears.
Okay. Let's go back, like I said. So they ban you from the executive session. You get upset. You file a complaint with the Attorney General's office, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have constant communication with them.
Yes.
They basically say, you want to seek legal action, go ahead. But other than that, they're basically not. But you dispute the fact that they sided with the county.
How did they side with the county? Okay, this email went on to say.
Well, the county attorneys had this.
Bless his heart.
He had to send, because they had to show that they had minutes from the
I've
executive
got that
session.
here too.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
But that's correct, right? He had to respond.
He did respond,
right.
And there's multiple people in that response who have reached out to me and said, I am willing to raise my hand in a deposition as to what they wrote in that response is an absolute lie. Let's go to court. So when the Attorney General wrote me back, they said, I do want to note that our office spoke to the county attorney regarding discussions in executive session. Now, why would they take the time to reach out to the county attorney about what's allowed to be discussed in executive session if they absolutely sided with the county? Why wouldn't they have written me a scathing letter that said, little girl, you do what you're supposed to do and keep your mouth shut? They didn't do that. Now, you can spin this any way you want to spin it. Are there any charges against me? Has Sheriff Mosley, and I called him yesterday and I said, Sheriff Mosley, have you been asked to come and arrest me for violating my oath of office? And he's like, well, no, nobody's requested that. Okay, if I am the biggest problem in Wayne County, there would have been a remedy. The problem with this entire situation is we had an executive session, and I left the executive session. I left because we have a county code that says if information that is non-exempt is in executive session, the chairman will stop it. I can't control anybody else's hula hoop, but I can sure control mine. I left that executive session because I'm not going to be a party to deception. I'm not. And I walked right on out. And was that painful? It's terribly painful. How would you like your character assassinated? It's terribly painful. And we have information. That information has been leaked from executive session. Well, the last time I checked, we lived in the United States of America. And you have to have an accusation. You have to have a trial. You have to present evidence. You have to have an opportunity to defend yourself. I thought you were innocent until proven guilty. In all places except the Board of Commissioners of Wayne County, Georgia. It's a shame. But where we're at right now today, July 26, 2024, we, the people of Wayne County, has seen this thing play out in living color. They know what I said about the 5 mil taxes in 2018 is the truth. They know it is. We're $8 million in debt. Go back and do a FOIA request and see how much debt was repaid. Not a penny. We weren't. We were cash poor. We had no operating. We were living from tan to tan. That was the real problem. But nobody was willing to go to the public and say, hey, we've kicked the can down the road year after year after year. And we have taken your finances that you voted us in and entrusted us with, and we've taken them all and turned them over to a county administrator and patted him on the head and say, we trust you, go to town. Well, one of those county administrators leaves Wayne County and gets arrested in another county for theft. Okay, but we're just supposed to, but the problem here is Jamie Hickox. No, the people of Wayne County have to go, okay, we know, we see clearly what's going on here.
And 3 more minutes.
And either we ask them to quit saying, vote for me because I'll be transparent, because they're not going to be transparent, or we're going to have to raise a standard of what we want in elected officials.
Where do we go from here? I guess that's the question. I mean, you're definitely upset. You're not running for re-election. You just feel like you're up against a brick wall.
I'm not running for re-election because of the exact same thing. I ran on transparency. And this particular body is not going to be transparent. They're not. It's a culture of cancer in this body. So what am I going to do? I'm going to continue to be an advocate. I have, like you, a very high threshold for paying for government meetings. I sit in a whole bunch of them. People are involved. I get an average of 1,000 views on each one of my meetings. People do research. They do care.
Right. I think I asked you this question when you were here last time, because I said this is what blows my mind. Because when you first ran, you ran the same time Kevin ran, same time Mike Gordon ran. Y'all went on family vacations together. Y'all were all in it together. The goal was to get rid of Ed Jeffords. You got rid of Ed Jeffords. Where did it go wrong? Where did this bond between the three of you just totally just explode? And like I said, I say all the time, politics ruins friendships, but this friendship between you and Kevin and Mike is definitely dispersed. So when did it go south? I think I asked you this last time. I don't think I got an answer. I'm just curious, when did it go south?
When I refused to do anything public anywhere other than the public. Period. Right now we're up against 2 SPLOST in the county. The people of Wayne County have voted in 2 SPLOST. We're talking $60 million. Let's really look at who is in charge of this $60 million. You've got 2 guys at the school board and are trying with everything they can to slide it by the school board. Praise God for Tater Yarborough. That man asks questions on a level that everybody in the county can understand. He translates more information understandably. Not that there aren't other people doing a great job on the school board. That's not what I'm saying. And then the county, they're selling bonds this week. Do you have any information on a courthouse annex? Is it going to look like a barn like the election building? Are we going to have the Wayne County Court barn sitting in the front yard of our historical courthouse? Do you have it? Does anybody know? I keep reaching out to people. Are you on this committee? Are you on this committee? Are you on this committee? Crickets. But on our front door of the courthouse, you can see air right through it. It's rotted. It's fallen down. I've posted pictures. Crickets.
I'm still amazed that the $3 million just disappeared from the budget of the school board. I mean,
exactly.
I call it the miracle on Orange Street. I mean, they can't tell you where the money went. I mean, first it's $6 million, then $3 million. And I talked to one of the board members and said, what frustrated me, not one board member asked the superintendent, what are we not funding? Where's the $3 million? Where's the $3 million? What was that for? Nobody asked that question. So we just disappear $3 million from a budget, and that's great. Appreciate it. That's what we wanted you to do. And they all rubber stamped it like it's great. But I'm like shaking my head like, what's not being funded?
There's a big difference between elected officials and the general public. The general public is getting extremely educated on county businesses, county business, government business, because they're funding it all. They're funding every bit of it, and they cannot afford it.
Well, we appreciate you coming in. Like I said, I know you want to just state your opinion on this issue. So you still adamant you didn't leak the information.
You cannot leak non-exempt information. You cannot do that. It's impossible.
Okay.
Always a pleasure. Appreciate you coming in. Always entertaining, that's for sure.
World famous Butch and Bob Show. County Commissioner Jamie Hickok's our special guest this morning here on this 26th day of July. Jamie, thanks for coming in and informing our listeners. Bob, anything else on your mind?
Nope, just have a good weekend.
All right, what begins tonight in France?
The Olympics.
The Olympics.
I'm looking for it. I got to get my TV back.
You poor thing. All right, world famous Butch and Bob Show here on WIFO 105.5 FM in Jesup has been brought to you by First Southern Bank, Van's Barbecue, Murphy Builder Supply, and O'Quinn and Associates.